Atir Khan is tracking that police investigation. He's joining us tonight. Atir, what are the cops telling you?
Well, Rahul, the update we have is that she had checked in yesterday sometime, and apparently Shashi Tharoor had also accompanied her at the hotel. And we also know that he was visiting the hotel, that we've got to know from some sources even till today. But then he'd gone back to his home, and again, when he heard about this incident, he's come back. What we know is that she had checked in yesterday, but when today the housekeeping tried to open the door, there was no response. Then there was something amiss. The hotel staff suspected, and then they informed the security. Thereafter, the door had to be broken open, and when they entered the room, the hotel staff, they discovered her body. Now, it's not really clear as to how did she commit suicide? Did she consume anything poisonous? The forensic experts have reached the hotel room. It's room number 345. That's what we know. And apparently they have cordoned off the floor also. They're trying to find out if possible they can get some clues, if they can also retrieve the CCTV footage as to get to know about her movements and her body language when she was entering or coming out of the room. So these are the things the police are trying to put together. The forensic crime team is here. Senior police officers have reached the spot and they're trying to investigate it.
Stay with me, Atir, because there's a lot happening. Vir Sanghvi is with us in the private lives of Sunanda and Shashi, which frankly we weren't putting out in the public domain because it was a matter between a man and his wife. But now those issues will be raised because Sunanda told me, she told other people as well, that she'd seen SMSs, BBMs from Meher Tarar to Shashi Tharoor, and she believed that they were in a rip-roaring affair. That's the phrase that she used, a rip-roaring affair, and that she feared that Shashi might leave her after the elections and settle with Meher.
This will be one of the angles.
Yeah, well, she has spoken to...
Go on, Vir.
Yeah, well, she has spoken to me and to various people about that, but I have to say, she didn't seem to show any fear that Shashi would leave her when she spoke to me. She was the kind of woman who would never publicly, at least, admit to that kind of fear. Her view would be that I would leave him. She was saying, in fact, listen, funny now when you talk about her, she was saying, he's put on so much weight. He thinks because he has a nice face, he can get away with having a big paunch. The trouble is, I have to see that paunch. So this was, what, a month ago? And she spoke about Meher, but in the same conversation, she included all of this. So, I mean, there was a degree of affection at the very least, and judging by the way they left arm in arm, they made us pose for pictures with them, which she subsequently tweeted. They struck me as a couple that had troubles, but they did not strike me as a couple in the middle of a huge crisis, certainly not something that would lead to something as horrific as this.
What do you think could have caused something like this? Of course, the police will now investigate this matter in depth, but as someone who knew both Sunanda and Shashi as closely as you did, what could have possibly led to Sunanda Tharoor wanting to commit suicide? If it is suicide, that is.
Yeah, I mean, we've got basically three options. One option is death from illness or natural death. Option two, and this is the crazies are going to go to town on this, is some kind of elimination, that she was assassinated. Either she was assassinated by Shashi or the Congress, or even, I'm surprised nobody's come up with this, but it's only a matter of time, if she claims Meher Tarar was a ISI agent and she was about to expose this, that she wasn't bumped off by the ISI. I mean, there are lots of crazies that will come up as well. And the third and the most obvious explanation is, given how troubled she seemed in the last 48 hours, is that perhaps in a fit of madness, perhaps because of a general sense of depression, perhaps because she felt life was not worth it any longer, she committed suicide, which would be very, very sad. But as I said to you before, she struck me on the whole as being a very sensible person in the early stages. She'd built up a business empire of her own. She was independently wealthy. She had a real estate business in Dubai. She was perhaps thinking, Sir Faraz confirmed this, thinking about joining politics. She was not the kind you would think to crumble. So clearly something happened that I am not privy to in the last few days that caused her to crumble.